came to win, to fight, to conquer, to thrive. I came to win, to survive, to prosper, to rise, to fly.
Hi everybody, and welcome to The Pursuit of Extraordinary. I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Kim Freeman.
And welcome back. In our last segment, we were talking about what it takes to be able to live a more extraordinary life and to be able to move closer to your goals and to make progress in your life. And what we talked about was starting out by getting clear on what it is that you do want. So we talked to you about taking some time to write down all the goals or all the things that you would like to have in your life and narrowing it down to about 5, right?
Right.
And then from there, we wanted you to take some time to self-assess yourself. So assess yourself, and really kind of dig down deep to find out, what is it that's holding you back? What are the habits or behaviors that you have that are holding you back? What are the excuses or justifications that you have that are holding you back? What are the limiting beliefs? Again, a lot of us have legitimate reasons that we even have that you're like, I can't do it because of all these things. A lot of times we have to be able to overlook those things and look past those things, or else change the way we look at those things to be able to move past them. The old expression, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change is very relevant, especially when it comes to assessing yourself and seeing what's capable for you to achieve, right? Rather than what you haven't been able to achieve. So again, you might have to change, again, the way you're thinking of things. So assessing yourself was number 2. So hopefully you guys took time to be able to do that.
And if you didn't, I would say pause this and do it now. One of the things that high achievers do is they don't wait. They don't put it off till later. They do it immediately. So I would say if you didn't write your goal list, if you didn't assess yourself of the areas that you need to improve, pause this, do it now, write it down before you start listening and adding to your to-do list of things you need to do that sometime, maybe when you have time, you can get it done.
Absolutely. So, in going into step 3 would be creating a plan to get from where you are now. Okay, so if you're assessing yourself, you're going to say, this is where I am now, and this is where I want to be. So just for an example, let's say that you want to get in better shape and you would like to lose, let's say, 40 pounds, okay? So again, in assessment, part of what you're going to do is you're going to assess a number of different things. You're going to step on a scale. You're going to see what your weight is now, and of course, where you would like your weight to be. You're also going to see what your pant size is. How big is your waist, or the jeans, or the dress, or any of those things that you're wearing. So that again, where do you think that you're going to be when you get down to that 40 pounds? So again, assessment is saying, okay, here's where I am now, and here's where I intend to be. Okay, and so that you don't get overwhelmed by saying, oh my God, I don't really know what to do. A lot of people, what happens is they get overwhelmed because it's so much to do that they feel handcuffed and they do nothing whatsoever. So, don't let it stress you out. Okay, like I talked about last podcast, the goal here is to do something every day that moves you closer to that overall goal. So every day is an opportunity for growth and improvement. And when you start seeing those changes happen, that right there is what creates excitement. Okay, and that's what makes you happy, and you can't wait to do more things that will help you move toward that overall goal. Moving into the plan. Okay, when you're moving into the planning phase, okay, you have to, number one, again, once you've got clarity, you have to figure out what are the things that I need to do. Most of us know or can find different research out there to show us. Again, let's go back to that 40 pounds. What do I need to do to be able to move closer to from where I am to losing that 40 pounds?
Okay, well, can I interrupt you for a second? So I think sometimes nowadays everything's available online. So you can get information to lose weight online. You can get information to put on muscle. You can get healthier. You can do all those things. But let's say that I want to get a better job, or I want to make more money, or I want to have better relationships with my friends, with my family, with my loved ones. How do you apply? Do I have to have the plan Like, do I have to be the one that creates the plan, or can I have somebody else create it?
No, that's a great question. You know what? A lot of times that's the part that actually overwhelms somebody because they're like, I don't really know what to do. Again, when I speak to a lot of these big companies, a lot of them don't do anything because they're not sure what to do. It's because they don't know, or the uncertainty of it, they do nothing. So probably one of the best things you can do is search for somebody that knows or has done what you want to do, and use them as a resource. Maybe hire them, and get somebody on your team that can help you move closer into that direction. So you don't have to
think
necessarily
that's
know,
important.
all the details of it. What you want to do is you want to be able to get a plan in place so that you can start creating number 4, which is creating new behaviors. Okay, new habits and behaviors that align with that plan that you have and that move you toward the overall goal that you have clarity on.
I am definitely a logical left brain person. The plan is where I get lost.
Yeah.
I love the plan. I love it. I love the idea of the plan. I love the journey, all that stuff. I love it. So someone like me, I get lost there. So I guess depending on different personalities and what everybody values, I know that for me, I have to go directly to somebody who's done it. Like in Well-Rounded, when we would sit in Well-Rounded and people would come in and give advice on how to run the business. Jeremy's very, very kind on it. But my thought was like, what business have you run that's a multi-million-dollar business, right? How many businesses have you run that are headed towards hundreds of millions? Because that's who I want to listen to. I want to listen to a Darren Hardy. I want to listen to a Tony Robbins. I want to listen to the people who are successful in what they're doing. I don't want to listen to somebody who doesn't own a business, who works for a company that's coming in to tell me what to do.
Yeah, exactly. And that aren't even willing to spend the money on the business, because they don't have the money to spend.
Right. So when it comes to the plan, so I didn't move with you yet because I had all that going on in my brain.
I got you. That's fine. So I'm glad you brought it up because again, this is so that you guys can take something out of it. And again, and I'm very right-brained. She's very left-brained. So what does that mean? I'm big picture. She's detail. So we work very well together. So this is just a collaboration of us talking to be able to kind of help you guys move in a more positive direction.
Right.
So again, we're just going to kind of banter back and forth, have some fun with this, and just engage to be able to get as much information to you so that you guys can use it to your advantage.
So my recommendation as a left brain person, going back to finish the point because we didn't quite finish it, is I would hire an expert. I've done, when we did Fitness Friday and we were on the news, one of the points that I would talk about is how to find the right professional for you. So if it's a personal trainer, there's specific things you need to look for. If it is somebody who handles money, my first question when somebody wants to come in and handle my money and put my money into savings and put my money into all of the IRAs and all that good stuff, I always ask them, like, how much money have you specifically made for yourself? And nobody likes to answer that question. But if you're going to handle my money, you better be making millions and millions of dollars because I want to make a lot of money. Right? So with that, like, I always want the expert. I want the one who's done it. So I would recommend that. Unless you have tons of time and you're like 20 years old and you want to spend the next 10 years trying to figure out the right way to do it in year 2, do you know too much to pay somebody?
Well, there's a lot of those out there.
There's a ton of those. And maybe when I was 20, I was a little bit more like that.
Sure.
But now that I'm not 20 and time is an issue, I don't want to mess around with it. I want the best plan. I want an expert, and I want someone that's going to guide me. So whatever path it is, if it's in relationships, I'm going to go to somebody who's got a functioning relationship.
Yeah.
Don't give me advice if you're not married.
Right.
Don't tell me how to be a good mom if you don't have kids.
Right.
Don't give me advice if you're somebody who committed suicide. Like, that stuff doesn't work for me. Right?
Yes.
So with it, no matter what area it is, I would say, like, go and get the best help that you can afford to get so that time isn't an issue. They're going to take you from where you are to where you want to go in a direct line instead of doing the zigzaggy maybe we'll hit it. Same with training, personal training. Like, how many people has that trainer ever got in shape on that day?
Right.
How many times have they done that? Is it a process that is successful? So find the best person you can find, spend the most money that you can afford to spend, and then learn the process so that you can do it without that expert later. or you can use them as a resource for later. So that would be my advice for that. And I think that's important for a lot of people, especially your left brain people, which is the majority of the people out there today.
Right.
We need a good process. I need to believe in my process. And I need to believe in the person so a lot of times, like Jeremy will be the person who creates the process. I need to believe in the process. If it's too far-fetched for me, I don't believe in it. And so I need to believe in it, I need to see it, I need to know that it's something that can be accomplished, and then we go from there.
Absolutely. Okay, good. So there you go for the plan. Okay,
All right, I feel better.
And again, the plan can be for so many different things. So again, that's why I'm not giving specifics of what that plan is. But again, there's people out there that have done it. Find those people, and go after that. And then, of course, once you have that plan, now what happens is you have to put it into action. So what happens is you have to change your daily habits, your daily behaviors, okay, to be able to take steps that move you toward that plan. So again, I use the example of losing weight. Again, we're moving way past losing weight here, but let's just use that as an example. So, changing your behaviors is going to be key. So you might have to get out of bed earlier. What I recommend for everybody out there, I don't care what your goal is, okay, when you get up in the morning, the first thing that you should start doing when you get up in the morning, okay, is take your first hour to 2 hours, okay, if you can get up early enough to do that, and if you're not, then start doing it. Use that time for you, okay? That time is your time to be able to move toward or make progress toward whatever your goal is. So if you're trying to get in shape, okay, get up earlier, go to the gym, or go into your basement and get on your elliptical or whatever it is that you have. Get up and walk, get up and run. Take that time for you. That is your time. Nobody is tugging at you at that time. Your kids aren't tugging you at that time. Your business isn't tugging at you at that time. That is your time for you. So those people out there that say that I don't have enough time, that is your time.
And that's something that I want to talk about real quick too, because dealing with, working with all of the clients over the years, and I always say dealing with the excuses. One of the things that we've heard over and over and over and over and over again is that I'm not a morning person. Everybody will tell you, I'm not a morning person.
Get that right out of your mind.
You've got to become a morning person.
Take it out of your vocabulary.
You are now, from this day forward, a morning person.
Exactly.
And if you're not...
The most successful people in the world, they're all morning people. They get up and they actually use that time. Listen, I've been getting up since 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes even before that, sometimes I'll even get up to go do my workout, go to the track, do whatever I have to do, get myself mentally prepared for the day, and actually create my day the way I want to lay out, and then go after my day. So that time is key, and it's needed.
And anything that you read about high performers, successful people, your Forbes, Fortune 100,
Yep.
One of the things that they all talk about is their routine for the day, their morning routine and what they do. And that's one of the things that people study. Lots of coaches out there study the rituals and the routines that high performers have. I think that is one of the areas that our non-performers are lacking. It's almost black and white.
It really is.
The people that are up in the morning and they're doing the things they need to do and they're accomplishing what they want in their life. And
I can't wait to get out of bed in the morning.
And I think the people that aren't and the people who struggle in the morning are your people that have not learned to do that yet, and they haven't seen the value in that. That's something like we try to teach Alex. We try to teach her first thing in the morning. You got to get up, you got to exercise, you write in your journal. You plan for your day to be successful. And the days that you don't do that, it's almost like you're a little bit off, right?
Yeah, exactly. The days that you don't, you didn't plan your day. So when you're getting up and you're planning for whatever it is you're planning for, okay, whatever your goal is, whatever your purpose is, whatever you've got clarity on is step one. Okay, that right there, that time is vital. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to write down, okay, what your steps are. I recommend that everybody takes, a Sunday or a certain day of the week, probably Sunday because it's the beginning of the week, where you can kind of plan out, what are my overall goals just for this week, and what are the incremental things that I need to do each day to move closer to that. And so, that way you have a plan for your week, and then you have a plan for your day. And each day you're getting up, okay, you may have already had that written Sunday, but you can look at it and say, okay, here's what I need to do to move me closer to that. So again, in this portion of what you're doing is you're changing your habits, okay, the behaviors that you have, and the routine that you have. You want to create a new routine, okay, that literally starts your day off on the right step, okay, and moves you in the right direction. So again, if it is losing weight, then you get up and you exercise, you do all those things, okay, you start drinking more water, okay, again, you lay that plan out so that every day, okay, it is systematic and you're taking the steps that move you in the right direction.
Okay, so let's say that Exercise is kind of an easy example, seeing how that's what we've done for so long. But let's say that I'm a salesperson and I want to have I either want to make maybe more commission,
Yep.
or I want a better job. Maybe I want to be the sales manager. Maybe I'm a salesperson
Yep.
and I want to become a sales manager. How am I going to use that morning time to be better? What specifically can I do?
Well, there's a number of things you can do. First and foremost, one of your goals should be, okay, if you're going to move toward that one goal that you have clarity on, is to have more and more new education, okay, even on a daily basis that helps open up your mind, open up your eyes to how you can more effectively move toward that goal. So you want to make sure that you're a constant learner.
Okay.
So one of the things that you could do is you could get up and you could read books that are going to help you become a better salesperson. If you're not a reader, because I've encountered that so many times, I'm not a reader, or maybe I got to get up and go right to work. So you start using your time more wisely, and I love Audible. Okay.
So one of the things that you guys will see is we will say excuses, and a lot of times that's kind of harsh. That sounds harsh to people. But basically, if you label that as an excuse, you realize that you need to overcome it. There's got to be a way to overcome it. So if you're not a reader, you need to become a reader.
Yeah.
Just like if you're not a morning person, you need to become a morning person. If you want to be highly successful in your life, if you want to win in your life, there's specific things you need to do. All of the successful people are doing it. Get on the wagon. Don't reinvent the wheel. There's specific things that are protocols that they follow. One is that they're educated and they're constantly educating themselves.
Knowledge is power.
They have that morning routine. So if you're not a morning person, become one. Take the steps to become one. Get up earlier. Start doing it. When you're tired at night, you'll go to bed earlier so that you can get up earlier. That becomes something that kind of figures itself out very easily.
Absolutely.
And then with reading, find a way around it. If you're not somebody, like I love to have the book, the tangible book. I like to read. I like to write it. I'm a good reader. I love it. I always have been. I've been a great reader my whole life. But if you're not, Audible.
Yeah, I love Audible. Listen, I love reading as well, but a lot of times I'm in the vehicle, I'm in a car, or I'm on a plane. I'm traveling a lot. So what happens is Audible is great for me.
Right.
I've probably moved through more books, with Audible than I have even, regularly. Again, sometimes I would read a book in 2 weeks. Audible, I can go through Audible in 2 or 3 days. Sometimes what will happen with Audible, I'll listen to it again. And a lot of times, if it's something that really I have some key information, is I'll actually listen to it and I'll take notes.
And so,
or I've actually even listened to Audible and got the book. Okay, and follow along with the book. So depending on what the information is. So your question to me before was, what if you're a salesperson?
Yes.
Okay, so that salesperson needs to get up. They need to be able to find the best information that you can find out there. So Google who's number one in the area. And again, like right now, we listen to a lot of Grant Cardone and things like that.
I like him because he's got a great personality.
Yeah, he does. He is. He's
Fun.
totally full of it. On top of that, he's a go-getter. And if any of you out there have not read 10X, we talked about 10X in the last podcast. Go grab that book. I think that book will help you in it doesn't matter what you're doing, not just sales, but anything that you're doing in life. And the bottom line is, when you think about sales, sales is communication. So sales, so you got to look at yourself as a salesperson or a good communicator, and that's going to help get you ahead in any endeavor in your life. That's a whole other topic.
Yes, and I taught sales for the company that I worked for before, Fortune 500 company. And I used to always say there's two people selling in a room. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be for an interview. It could be for actually selling something. It could be for trying to get my opinion across to you and to have you hop on board with whatever it is that I'm selling.
Right.
So if we think about it, every single interaction all day long is selling. I'm selling myself, I'm selling my ideas, I'm selling my thought process, I'm selling my lifestyle. It doesn't matter what my career is. It doesn't matter if I'm a child selling it to the mom. Alex is a great salesperson.
Oh, she's great. Yeah.
She's selling her ideas.
All the reasons why.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And she asks you all the questions before you can even get close to her, knowing that she's going to ask you whatever it is. So with that, I would say that to be successful in life, read some sales books, even if you're not a salesperson.
Absolutely. Yeah. So again, that morning time, use that for new education, okay, and implement that new education in your day that day.
Right.
Okay, so that's a great thing. And of course, even use something that kind of helps motivate you. I mean, again, we've been listening to motivational speakers for years and years, and of course, that's part of what I do. I mean, motivational speaker as well, and. But again, Anthony Robbins, everybody's listened to him for years and years, and of course you've got Dennis Waitley, you've got Brian Tracy, you've got Darren Hardy, you've got Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, who you love. know, and there's just so many of them that
Les
are out there,
Brown.
you know, Les Brown, you know, I mean, there's so many, again. So, you know, just try to get, you know, listen to maybe a little of that too. That might be something that you do in your drive, when you're driving to work, okay? 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is, just something to kind of give you a different view on things, something to get you hyped up, to help you move you again in a positive direction. So again, that right there is just creating a new routine, okay? That's number 4, is creating that new routine, you know, and making sure that you're doing something that, again, where you're educating yourself and moving you closer toward, you know, that overall goal, whatever that big goal is. Okay, so every day is an opportunity for growth and improvement. You have to seize that day. And the way you do that is by getting up with intention, okay, of learning something new, doing something, you know, for yourself that's going to move you toward that positive direction. So changing your habits, changing your behaviors, of course, and changing the patterns and, you know, things that you do, rituals.
And that's something that we do within our family too, is what did you learn new today? That's something that if Jeremy says, you know, I didn't learn anything today before he goes to bed, he's looking at something to learn it.
It's dangerous because then next thing you know, I'm like trying to find that one thing that I wanted to look up, and then I'm up until
hours later,
1 or 2 o'clock
because now
in the
you're
morning.
interested in it.
Yeah.
But we've done that with Alex all the way through.
Yeah.
What did you learn today? Write down 3 things that you learned in school today, and if she didn't learn anything, would have her come home and she'd have to find something that she would learn
Yeah,
about.
and then sometimes I say, well, what are you interested in? What's the next thing that you want to know about? And so she'll say it, and then we'll go look it up and help her learn that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, once you have those things, you start changing behaviors, and you start actually seeing the progress happening, because again, it's going to be incremental progress. Every day is going to be a step forward to making progress. When you start doing things differently, okay, you start changing, you know, your actions and your behaviors. Okay, what's going to happen next is you want to be able to find people, align yourself with people that are accountability partners, or people that are looking for growth as well. Okay, so you want to be able to find people that are successful, that you can align yourself with, okay, so that you have something to shoot for, but also people that understand where you're headed. You don't have to necessarily tell everybody, but again...
they call it your get it crew.
Yeah.
Your get it crew.
Exactly.
You know, who's your get it crew? And I think that's the community you need to surround yourself with. And a lot of times you might not have that community. You have to go look for it.
Yeah.
You have to have conversations that initiate that type of conversation. The conversations that everybody has today are really not always the best conversations. Like if you listen to conversations, what do you and your friends talk about? Are you talking about things that don't matter? Or are you talking about your goals and your dreams and how you're accomplishing it? And then do they stand up and cheer for you? When you have a big win, can you talk about it with your community, your people, your get it crew? If you can't, they're not your crew.
They're not your crew. And this is the one part that most people neglect, because they keep themselves in the same environment that they're in. And what happens is when you start getting better and you start moving in a positive direction, everybody that's around you that knew who you were before, they're going to remind you of that, and they're going to want you to move back to become that same person that you were, because they become uncomfortable. So what happens is a lot of people don't change their environment. They don't change their surroundings. And then what happens is they start doing these things for a little while. Okay, start making progress, and then everybody else tries to pull them right back to where they were. And a lot of times they let them do that, and then they end up saying, okay, this didn't work for me. Right. Well, the reason why is because you didn't change enough things. Okay, you start changing your behaviors, but you got to start changing your environment, the people that you hang around, and start putting yourself in a position to be around people that again, applaud when you make progress and when you move forward. Again, even somebody that might be an accountability partner, or else even hiring somebody, maybe the person that sets your plan up for you, okay, that help you, a coach that can actually help you move in the right direction, that can give you accountability to help you move toward whatever that goal is. Okay, accountability is huge. And of course, a lot of us will perform harder or more for somebody else than we will even for ourselves, to get ourselves out of our own way, okay, because we're creatures of habit. We do things day in and day out, and we start staying in those habits and those behaviors, and that kind of keeps us where we're at. Okay, so that can take us all the way back to energy. I only have a certain amount of energy, so if you're doing the same things day in and day out, and you don't have more energy to be able to put into growth, then there's no growth. You end up being the exact same. So again, when you align yourself with people that get it, okay, that are on the same wavelength as you, or at a higher wavelength than you, okay, that are thinking bigger.
They always talk about if you want to make more money, you surround yourself with people that are more successful than you, so that you are the one that has the least amount of money in the room, because it's so uncomfortable that you're like, I got to change. I got to listen to what they're saying, and I got to start implementing the things that they're doing.
Absolutely.
You know?
Exactly. That's exactly it. The bottom line is there's so much out there to learn. There's so many people out there to learn from. And so for us, we've sought out information, people, and we're educated. Okay, we continue to educate ourselves consistently even now to be able to grow. You got to sometimes swallow your pride sometimes when you have somebody that's sitting there telling you that you're doing it wrong. So for her, she doesn't want to listen as much as I do. I'll sit and say, okay, what am I doing wrong? I like to hear this, But for her, a lot of times, she's like, I'm not listening because, listen, you haven't done what I've done. You're
I want an expert.
Yeah, she wants an expert.
If you're going to give me advice, then you better be way more successful in it than me.
Yeah.
And that's what
I get that. And I get that.
And Jeremy will take advice from anybody. I don't have time for that. I got too many things I got to take care of. I've got identical twin girls. I got a superstar little girl.
Yep.
I've got 3 businesses. I got a relationship with my husband that I work with him on a daily basis, and I have to perform to the level that he expects.
Yeah.
So for that,
That's not easy.
I don't have time for a BS person to give me advice. If they haven't done it and they haven't made it, I guess, a process that they can do over and over and over and over again and have success with it, I don't have time for it.
No, so back up. You said that I'll take advice from anybody, and that's not the case. I will listen.
Yes, that's true.
I will listen to everybody. There's very few people that I take their advice, but I do take the time to listen. And I also will assess what they say and say, okay, is there any truth to this?
Right.
Because for me, I think sometimes we don't assess ourselves truly. So if somebody's giving me, some feedback, I'll look at it and say, is there any truth to it, and do I need to make some changes, even if they haven't been as successful as I am? And I think that does, personally for me, help me in a way to be able to grow so that I can, again, they may not be as successful in certain areas, but I will at least listen and see if it applies.
Yeah, I think that's a little different than what I'm talking about, but yes.
Yeah.
And I always say too, when somebody is giving you feedback's a little bit more different than advice. But feedback, if somebody's giving you feedback business-wise or in whatever it is that you're trying to be better at, if it hurts you or you're angry about it, there's probably truth to it.
You hit a chord.
Which means you got to really listen.
Yeah.
When it hurts, when you're angry, when it strikes some sort of emotion in you, you got to listen because there's truth in it, and it means that it's probably something that needs fixing.
Yeah, exactly. You need some more assessment, a little deeper assessment to figure out why is it striking that chord. But okay, so I think we pretty much covered those 5 things that Kim asked me about initially. Okay, number 1, getting clear. Okay, what is it that you want? Okay, you've got to know what it is that you want before, of course, you can move toward it. Okay, you can't just keep skipping around from one thing to the next. It's like saying, I'm going to plant this seed here that I want to grow and flourish, but you keep going back out and digging it back up and saying, is it growing? Is it growing? No, it's not growing. You keep bothering it.
Or you water that one.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you keep fertilizing
dig it up, you put it
that
someplace
one.
else. The bottom line is you've got to plant something, you've got to water it, you've got to nurture it, okay, every day, and create incremental growth daily once you're clear on what it is that you want. Okay, and then of course you have to assess what it is that's holding you back. Okay, what are the behaviors, the things that you're doing that are holding you back from being your best version of you? Okay, what are the things that you're saying? Okay, you want to start going back and you want to start monitoring the things that you're thinking, how you're thinking. Remember, thought is the origin of every outcome. Okay, and of course the things you're thinking are exactly what you're saying as well. Okay, so you want to start assessing what you're thinking, what you're saying, and of course, what are your actions? Those things are so key to helping you move in a positive direction. So again,
I think that's its own lesson.
It's totally its own lesson. Listen, we're just giving you surface stuff right now.
Yeah,
there's so much deeper
there's
into
so
it, but
much
again,
to
this is
that.
surface. So again, going from your clarity, okay, knowing what you want, to assessing what it is that you want.
What are you saying? What are you doing? What are your actions?
Right. And then from there, going into creating the plan, finding a person that helps you to create a plan or put a plan into play. And of course, you can research that and find out for yourself. Okay, and then from there, putting it into action and changing your habits, your behaviors, your rituals, your daily rituals. Okay, making sure that those daily rituals are helping you again. Make each day count. Make every day count. Okay, again, in that portion of it, make sure that you're getting up earlier and you're taking those first couple hours of the day specifically for you, specifically for growth, specifically to move in a positive direction. Okay, start your day in a positive way. Okay, don't hit that alarm. Okay, what's happening when you hit that alarm is you're telling yourself it's okay to procrastinate. It's not. Okay, jump out of bed. Okay, with passion.
Don't put your phone. Good simple tip. Don't put your phone next to the bed. Put it somewhere where you have to get up and go to actually touch it so that you're already up. If you're gonna hit snooze, you gotta go up and you gotta touch it.
Listen, I don't even need an
Don't do
alarm.
it.
I wake up before my alarm every single day and I'm ready to go. The bottom line is I have passion. I can't wait to make progress today. I can't wait to move toward whatever it is gonna help me be better today. And that's what I want for you guys too, okay? To be able to jump out of bed and get after it. Have the energy, okay? When you know what you want and you have purpose, purpose gives you purpose-driven behavior to get out of bed and get moving toward it. Okay, so again, right there, you want to make sure that once you have that plan that's put in place, change those behaviors, change your rituals, and then, okay, start looking, okay? Start searching for those people that you want to surround yourself with that are going to be your accountability partners. They're going to be the people that are going to cheer for you when you have success, when you start making those wins, those small wins, those big wins, okay? All of them are wins, okay? When you have a win, celebrate it, and celebrate it with those people that are on your side. Okay.
And then be somebody too that celebrates other people's wins. I think that's something we're looking, you know, when we do something big, we want somebody to celebrate it, but are we celebrating other people's wins? Are we, when somebody has something huge happen in their life, are we like, oh my God, that's so awesome, I'm so proud of you, I'm happy for you? Or even if it's something teeny and small, if it's 10 pounds and your friend looks better, or if it's something, you know, just small stuff. Be the person who's cheering, because when you stand up and cheer for other people, guess what? It comes back to you tenfold.
It always does. What you give is what you get. Always, 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 always. So again, find those people. Okay, that sometimes is a harder portion than what it seems, but again, they're out there. But you've got to do the work to find those people. And again, if you want to have us on your team, look us up, get a hold of us. Okay?
I'm a great cheerleader.
Yes, exactly. I'm a great leader to help you move toward whatever it is you want to move toward. The bottom line is, okay, if you want to make change, you have to change.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
And it starts with how you think and the way you think. Okay, so again, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. It's relevant in every single situation, always. Always. Okay, so you want to be able to look at your life and say, what is my best life? What is it that I want in this life that I'm going to go toward? What limiting beliefs am I going to put away that I've had over and over again, and the justifications and the reasons for why I haven't done it yet, and I'm going to throw those in the garbage, and I'm going to start creating a new me to move toward a direction of where you know you can be, okay, where you've always wanted to be, okay, and then get that plan. Go after the plan. Okay, find the person that can help you develop a plan. Find that expert, like Kim said. Okay, and if you want to use us as a resource, we're an expert in a lot of different areas. We'd love to be able to help you there as well.
Or we can steer you in the right direction.
Exactly. Move you in the right direction, or show you the right people to be able to go after. Right. Again, changing those habits, behaviors, okay, and the routine that you're putting into place. And find those people. We're your people, okay? We celebrate growth, okay? We know that growth is what creates happiness, okay? We want all of you out there to grow, to thrive, and to flourish, okay? That's what we're here for on this planet, okay? And it's our mission, okay? It is our true mission to help as many people as possible to live a more extraordinary life. So go after today, go after it every day, and live today with greatness.
To conquer, to thrive, I came to win.